Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
And our episode last week was posted very quickly. So a big shout out to Apple Podcast for really righting the ship.
Would
Great
expect
Can
nothing.
I get a taste of your ice cream?
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny,
Episode 28, Friends and Rivals podcast coming at you. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Harkis. With me, as always, are
Steve Wojtowicz.
Guillaume Fouget de Champagny.
Saint Nick Larita,
yeah, follow
New
that
York Saints.
We will absolutely get into that. But first and foremost, I trashed them pretty hard last week. Big shout out goes out to Apple. Great job, guys. Customer service was incredible. Moved really quick. Even posted our missing show, and our episode last week was posted very quickly. So a big shout out to Apple Podcast for really righting the ship.
Would
Great
expect
Can
nothing.
I get a taste of your ice cream?
Was that like their last jingle or something?
That's a commercial now. Just trying to help the push
No,
Apple.
you're trying to help the flow of the show. Yeah, no, we really appreciate that.
Apple needs the help, man. You really need the help.
No, we need the help, Nick. We need better flow. And Bill's trying to give us that, I guess.
Trying to give you guys
As
the
we
flow
come
right
on
here.
the air, we say goodbye to the Carolina Hurricanes. My team is now out. My second team is now out.
Wah, 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 wah.
And we also say goodbye to the New York. I'm just so used to it. The Winnipeg Jets. The Jets got ousted in a sweep. Are you sure, Steve, that you weren't?
I was not pulling for the Winnipeg
you
Jets.
sure?
No, not at all.
It does remind me. I did forget an agenda item, and that's Steve's bets that we have to. That was his homework for this week. So we'll
Ready to go.
You are ready to go. Okay, good. I guess we have to start out with the Islanders. Christ, let's just get this shit over with, because this is just starting to annoy me now.
Go ahead.
Look, I don't. First and foremost, I want to say something. I don't disagree with what Cassidy said about the officiating. I don't think the fucking Islanders think that they're saints. First off, I don't think they get preferential treatment. But I don't think he should have been fined $25,000.
Oh, you don't think he should be fined for going out and calling the refs, saying the refs did a shit job for the night?
Look, he was trying hard not to say all that, and he just said, "Hey, they had a bad night." Look, everybody's got a bad night every now and again, but to fine him $25,000 for that?
It's a little more
That's
than
pretty
that.
consistent, though. I mean, they crack down on coaches all the time for anytime they manage to talk shit about officiating.
I don't know, man.
He said it a few times in his speech. It wasn't like just a one-off, like they did bad.
No,
He said it
was
a
like,
number
"Hey, I
of
know
times."
those guys. They're great guys. They just had a bad night. Awful night refereeing."
But that's the one part of the soundbite. You missed like the pieces before that where he's basically said the same thing like 3 times. They're bad. These are bad calls. Blah blah. We're not getting the calls. Like he literally calling the officials out for not calling more than the 2 penalties the Isles got. So, by the way, Bruins had 4 penalties. 4 penalties. One of them automatic penalty, which was a right in the middle of the rink, thrown over their Bergeron shot out into the crowd after in his own zone. That's like that's a dead brain no call call. There's no
I got it, but
nothing
I
right?
guess stop you. Do you like that call?
It's the worst call in hockey.
I hate that. Look, you got to use some discretion. If you're in the defensive zone and you put it into the crowd to fucking stop
Almost
play,
call.
get in the box. If
Well,
that you're trying to bank it off, not being pressured, no nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's been 10 years. I mean, you have to be. It's not like this is like a new rule. I mean, when it first happened,
has it been 10 years?
it's gotta be, man.
Yeah.
It's a long time, dude. I mean, think about it. When that rule first came out, everyone hated it, and everyone still hates it. It never. I hate watching it. It makes no sense when that kind of play. Bergeron just throwing hit off the boards, but it wasn't pressured. He wasn't. The reason they put in there was so guys can just look it out, when they were tired, right? And
I don't hate the penalty. Maybe I'm the only one that doesn't hate the penalty. I
You
like
are
it.
the only one that doesn't. You're only.
Yeah.
You are the only one.
But
I-
nevertheless,
Well, why do you like it? Why do you like it?
I don't hate it either. Just for the
All
record.
right, there we go.
wow.
Of course, you guys are
No,
wearing
man, I mean,
Wow.
matching
Yeah.
shirts.
years and years ago, they were flipping the puck out of their own end on purpose to stop the play when they were under pressure. They were
Do
doing.
you
they were
honestly
doing
think
it all the time.
Bergeron was trying to flip the puck into the crowd to stop play?
I didn't even see it. It doesn't. But you can't have a gray area. It can't be a judgment call. Don't.
I would take
Flip the-
any call that takes the judgment out of it over a judgment call.
Don't you think pass interference
Sure.
in football is a judgment call every single time?
Why
I know
are we
there's
even
I know
comparing
there's
them?
rules, but the officials don't really follow the rules every single time. And
No,
it's
that-
look, it's just like in hockey. It's just like in baseball. Do you think that 3-2 friggin' curveball to Odor last night or 2 nights ago was a strike? No, it was outside. It was still called a strike.
So my take on this is, again, 4 penalties to 2, not a huge disparity by any means. Penalties are discretionary. There were a couple penalties that the Bruins had early on, I think, that were, a couple tic-tac, slashing calls, but there are calls going to the net, and they call that shit every time. If you got a guy going to the net, has an open look, and you slash them in the hands, even if it's light, they're going to call a penalty on you every time.
Yep,
It's
you
right
take
in
one
front of
hand-
the play,
you Take one hand
right?
off your stick and put it on the guy's shoulder. Turn around. It's a penalty every single time. In
Yep.
overtime in the playoffs, doesn't matter. It's a penalty every time.
In overtime playoffs, I don't know about that. It
Oh,
gets
it was. It
even-
was this year.
it is, but it's a gray area with it's just, I wish it would call it every time, but we all know it's completely.
But
They're
see,
gonna-
that's
they're
the
gonna-
whole point.
you know.
If you call it every time, then nobody can complain.
Oh, I agree, but that's not the point that Cassidy's making. He's making the point that his team was basically taken away from in the game because there was a disparity of penalties called against them. And then he started bringing up things like our guys got hit in the face with high sticks away from the penalty, the play, and that should have been called. When those are plays that happen all the time, guys get hit in the face all the time. Oh, even the play, and then nothing happens. It completely depends on what the refs are looking at. And then to be able to go into the game, basically their team shot the bed. It was a 5-2 game at one point. Isles were outshot in the end 2-1. They had 5 goals on like 19 shots. There was no way the Isles should have won that game if you look at the numbers. Even watching the game, we were outplayed most of the game. But
Two
they
guys
were
gave up 4 goals on 16
Yeah.
shots.
but they were opportunistic as hell, and some of those shots were really good shots. I mean,
That's the word. That's
you
the
know.
word. We have said it early on in this playoffs and
Yeah.
even in the regular season about the Islanders being opportunistic. And boy, were they! It sickens me how opportunistic they were fucking yesterday because they
Yeah.
scored every chance that they got.
it was
scored on it.
crazy. Now, normally we have a lot of opportunities, like every team, but they actually hit on a bunch of them, and it wasn't. And so they only had 19 shots, but they also had more opportunities where they missed, and they were good opportunities. These were all a lot of high quality chances, and that is happening because the Bruins were not playing sound D a lot of the game. They played really dominant for a bit, and then they had these huge stretches of just playing like dog shit, and I mean like dog shit. It was bizarre to watch how the Bruins could be so good with the Pasternak line, Bergeron line, and then some other lines roll out, and they just laid an egg, and they couldn't get the puck out of their zone for like almost a minute and a half on a couple of occasions in the second period.
You compound
good
that
game.
with Tuukka Rask having a shitty game. And I know
Yeah.
the coach said he was hurt and all that stuff, but he still had a horrible game. I don't
Yeah, he's protected
how
in
how
that.
much he's hurt, I don't know. But he was at a position on goals, and he just did not look comfortable in net last night. And look, Barzell came in and he scored the first power play goal, and it really energized the entire bench. And
Oh yeah,
and look, I've been giving Barzal a lot of shit in these playoffs this year, but in this series, he has stepped up and has really put in the leadership on his shoulders, and he's leading by example out there. And yeah,
3 goals in 3 games, and it's important. And that shot was a really huge goal because he, finally took like a real aggressive stance in the power play. I mean, the problem is, how power plays go. especially when they're not doing well, everyone gets really passive, extra passes. He stepped up and just ripped that shot with a little bit, some space. They gave him a little bit of space, and he just found that corner. And that was a huge, huge play. It opens up, obviously, other opportunities if you're going to be aggressive on that side as opposed to just passing. The other goal with Palmieri, right place, right time. Easiest goal he's going to have all year. But, man, like that's what you want. You want your guys to be there on those kind of plays, a good bounce. My whole point of this whole thing with this game 5 was that the Bruins did not get good bounces. They, try to blame other things, and they didn't play well, and when it mattered. And then they came back, obviously, and had a couple goals late in the third, and almost tied it a couple times at the end. But it was just to me, it was a lot of excuses, and I think Cassidy's been outcoached horribly, and I think he's going to get more heckles than anybody else on the rink come game 6 tomorrow. It's going to be a really interesting thing.
How many New York Saints signs are going to be out in the barn tomorrow night?
Are they going to play when the Saints come marching in?
I was going to say, if they don't play, if the people don't sing when the Saints are coming in marching in, I will be shocked. I mean, I was thinking maybe some hallelujahs, maybe some who dat chants for the Saints. Saints jerseys.
I think the series is over. I think it ends tomorrow night, and it's almost like a carbon copy. Not really, but there's a lot of similarities between the Penguin series and the Bruins series.
It is.
Islanders grossly outshot, grossly outplayed for some of the games too. But the Islander games always seem to build. They always seem to have slow starts in the beginning, and then they get a lucky break or a bounce they're opportunistic with, and they cash in on it. And that kind of balances the first period out a little bit. Second period is that little tug of war, and then the Islanders finally take it over by the end. And then third period, it's just over.
Hang on.
Back.
Yeah,
the series is over. I wanted to say it after game 5 of the Penguin series. I knew the series was over, but I didn't want to be that asshole that put down my team and then they come back and we're like, so answer for that. So I didn't say it at the time, but I can say it now because this is not my team playing. The series is over. You start making excuses like the Bruins did after game 5, your head coach, just go home, pack your shit. You're done.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's lost. It's crazy to me. I can't remember a time a coach came out and openly just went, ham like that and is blaming everything but his own team. I mean, he did talk a little about penalty kill being problematic because they had their best PKers out. They won't be back for the next game.
You gotta think Tortorella did something like that. Didn't he at one time?
Might have.
I'm sure he bitched and moaned about the refs so bad that he got fined for it. Didn't he? He had to.
Oh God, yeah.
He had to have.
Yeah, but the thing to note this series, there's been $40,000 in fines to the Bruins in 5 games.
How many to the Saints?
0.
Wow, that they are the Saints. They're such a clean team.
Oh, and by the way, Bruins top I think 3 or 5 in the league all year in penalties taken.
Well, anytime you got Marchand on your team,
5.
That's going to happen.
Yeah,
Isles in the bottom 5 all season. So the entire a couple more penalties on one side than the other, and it's basically because they're in top 5. One is the top 5 least disciplined team compared to the top 5 most disciplined team. I mean, it's just going to slide that way.
So
anyway.
back in the day when Major League Lacrosse was a thing, the New York team that played out on the island was actually called the Saints. So I know that there are some Guidos from the island that still have old New York Saint jerseys laying in their closet that they're going to be wearing them tomorrow night.
Oh, I'm sure you're going to see them because
always comes back to lacrosse.
Yeah.
Always.
But David Krejci has really done nothing. I know he scored that goal yesterday, but he has really done nothing for me. Even out there playing, he's your second line center, man. He's got to be counted on for something. And that line with Hall, I mean, it's just not working. To me, that is just.
But it worked last round. It's not like it never worked.
No, but I'm not a big David Krejci fan, so maybe that has a lot to do with it.
Is he as overrated as Connor?
No, nobody is as overrated as Corey Connor. Nobody, even though I picked him in the challenge, Nobody's. We'll get to that later.
Wait,
but there's
what's his name?
nobody as overrated as
What's
he
his
is.
name?
Who, Corey Connor?
Oh, it's good.
Is it Corey? Is it Cody? What is his name?
Screw you, Kyle.
Kyle.
Is it Kyle?
Kyle Connor.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It was also funny that Cassidy was talking about the faceoffs and was like, yeah, well, the coach says stuff about Tom Bergeron in the faceoff dot last night, and then boom, he gets kicked out in the first three. You mean some of the things were just, good. It's funny. It's fucking hilarious.
He's going to start complaining that they're not wearing their uniforms right next.
Yeah. I could talk about that one about a lot too, I'm sure, but I'll pass for now.
It's a $20,000 fine.
Well,
We're finding Nick. I'm finding Nick $20,000.
For what? The hell
I'm
did
just
he
here
do?
not to get fined.
Talking bad about the refs.
I'm just here not to get fined.
Wow.
He can afford it. He's obviously the favorite Loretta.
It's true.
This is true.
Got to be a yearly stipend for that.
It's like one Disney stock every year. I always wonder about that. I think my parents or my grandparents bought me like 5 Disney stocks or something when I was like a baby. Like maybe they thought it like one day it'd be worth a lot of money, and I'm like, it's still like the same price. Maybe like it's $5 a stock or something. I don't know. It never goes up. It's been the same.
Really?
Well, if it went up $5, that's $25 profit in your pocket, pal.
I always look at it, Mike, the dividends or whatever. It's like, damn, this is worth nothing. It's just.
Oh yeah, you were
sit there.
born what, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's pretty much right. I don't even know where the stocks are. Probably somewhere. How do stocks work? Tom, you gotta teach me about stocks
What are
sometime.
you asking me for? I'm the last one to ask.
Stocks, good or bad? Go, Tom. You go.
They're good sometimes and bad other times.
Wow, that was impactful to my life. What
You're
an amazing statement.
You are,
SEC is coming to knock down your door with that insider trading info.
you are welcome. Winner of the Avalanche.
Winner of the cup, yeah. Colorado, Vegas, winner of the
Right?
cup.
You think that's the cup winner right there?
Yeah.
Right? It's got to be.
Yeah.
Really?
The only one
Still
that
on
could
that horse?
challenge is Tampa.
Yeah.
Don't forget Montreal.
Wait,
Montreal
what?
hasn't trailed in like almost 500 minutes.
So is the worst possible scenario for the league, Montreal and the Islanders in the finals, in the cup finals? Is
Absolutely.
that like
No.
Or is
The
that-
Islanders,
No.
yes,
amazing?
but Montreal's
Montreal would be
market. Canada-
huge,
All
yeah.
of Canada will be
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would make $17 on that
So
Canadian.
I would think if Montreal wins the cup, hands down, fewest regular season points by a cup champ if Montreal wins.
That's not going to happen. I don't care how good Carey Price has been.
I'm
That is not going to
hypothesizing, you fucknut. There's not much
Never.
else to talk about. I'm trying to generate conversation.
That is
Why?
never going to happen.
Why would you try to generate conversation for a podcast?
Silly
Jeez.
me. I don't know.
No, didn't we say dead air?
What's next on the agenda, boss?
Didn't we say dead air was, well, speaking of you, I want to know. Come on, you're betting
Okay.
Yeah.
against.
So
your
I
team.
have to preface this a little bit by saying that I'm mainly making $2 and $5 bets based on my feeling, and I'm always betting the money line. So I'm always winning a lot less than if I lose. So if I win, I'm winning like $2.50. If I lose, I'm losing the full $5 if it's a $5 bet. So over the course of the season,
So
I
when
bet
you
on
win, you're only winning half of your bet.
it depends on what the money line is.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So-
I don't understand betting in hockey at all.
If I'm not explaining it to you because you'll shit on me.
I'm
for some fucking
hypothesizing.
reason.
I need to get
You'll shit
content.
on me for some reason. But based on whatever
That's what we do. So please
Based on-
explain.
whatever the money line is, like say the Devils are minus 110
Yeah.
and you bet $10, you only win if they win, you only win 9. Or if they're plus 150 and you bet $10, you win 15. So it depends on if it's a plus or a minus for who you're betting on. So anyway, $2 bet, $5 bet, mostly 21 different games I bet on. For the season, I wound up winning $5.20. So I was
Wow.
ahead $5.20 on the season.
That's like one Disney stock, dude. That's
Now
awesome.
let's compare that to the Jets. I bet the Jets with the spread. So you win what you bet. I bet on 9 games. On the Jets, I won $52.85.
It is definitely profitable to bet against the Jets.
Always
No doubt.
bet against the Jets. I don't know how people bet on teams they root for.
I would never be able to bet on the Giants.
Right?
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Because I feel like then if you lose, that's a double kick in the nuts. Right? The team lost and you lost money. I don't think I would ever have enough faith in a team I root for to bet on them.
Really? I mean, back in the late 90s and the early 2000s,
No.
the Devils.
I still don't think I would have had enough faith.
Really?
I really don't.
And they were playing like the Panthers.
I watched that team win a Stanley Cup in 95 and then miss the playoffs in 96. And then win the President Trophy in either 97 or 98 and lose in the first round. So I just, even during the 2003 runs, I just wouldn't have had enough faith.
All right. Interesting. So you wanted me to bring up the Butcher Time overtime challenge? Well, at first, I need to congratulate our
First of all,
podcast.
The marketing department is doing a stand-up job this past week, no?
Well,
Woo-hoo!
was it
Marketing
2-3
department.
At least.
At least, I mean,
At least.
that is a 200% increase from the week prior.
And the marketing
job,
team
marketing.
single-handedly picked the winner, the overtime goal scorer. Didn't get picked by Butchergrass to win a shirt, but picked the winner.
I'm sure a lot of people had Toffoli.
So nice job, marketing department.
Nice
I'm
job.
sure. I'm
Good
sure,
job.
Sure, a lot of people picked Toffoli.
Of course, they picked Connor for the Jets because you hate him so much.
Biggest fan.
Well, look,
was upset.
Dominic Moore was said he was going to score. So he said if anybody on the Jets is going to score, it's going to be
And if
Cody.
And if anybody knows who's going to score for the Jets, it's Dominic Moore, because as you're aware of,
He went to Harvard.
he went to Harvard.
Smart guy. Smart
that
guy.
makes him really, really smart. Really, really smart.
He graduated with, who else went to Harvard? Well, who's the quarterback that went to Harvard?
Fitzpatrick.
He graduated
Come
with
on.
Fitzpatrick. They graduated like the same year, I think.
Wait, Harvard has a football team?
Roll Crimson. No, I don't know what they say.
Roll Crimson.
I don't know what they say.
Roll
Really?
Tide.
Right? No, aren't they
What are you
aren't they
talking
the
about?
Crimson? Harvard Crimson?
Oh,
What's their school
What?
team
Really?
name?
I don't think anybody really cares. I don't think
Have a
anybody's
team
gonna
name?
to
I thought it was
know
Harvard.
What the answer
Okay,
is.
yeah,
Harvard
just Harvard.
team.
Okay,
The
go
Harvard
on.
football team.
Next fucking topic. Nobody wants to hear shit I got to say tonight.
No, it's not.
No.
It's just the team name of Harvard that we don't want to hear about. Because I mean, you just say it's Harvard, and
Well,
then you're supposed to
team.
like bow in reverence.
It's not. It's the fucking Crimson, but okay.
Harvard.
Good.
It
I'm
is.
glad it's
It's a Crimson.
I know it's the fucking Crimson. Thanks, Nick. Knew that already. Go ahead. Next topic.
Roll Crimson.
Did you guys know Brian Fitzpatrick played at Harvard? Guy's fucking smart.
Was he a quarterback? I didn't even know they
Yeah.
had a football team, Nick.
He was a quarterback.
So I was watching the Knights and the Avalanche the other night, and just watching Jonathan Marchessault just absolutely dismantle single-handedly the Colorado Avalanche. And I'm thinking, how the hell did Marchessault get on the Knights? And then, I look at the expansion draft, and to see how the Vegas Golden Knights were built and who they took in the draft, just to kind of refresh my memory. They got 3 first-round picks in that expansion draft, just so teams wouldn't have players that they like picked. And the Florida Panthers traded Riley Smith in exchange for Vegas selecting Jonathan Marchessault and a 4th-round pick in the 2018 draft. Now you're saying, okay, well, there's probably better players on the team that they wanted to protect, right? Okay. Well, they protected Barkov, Bukestad, Huberdeau, Trocheck, Keith Yandel, Ekblad, and James Reimer. But 2 guys they could have not protected and protected Riley Smith and Marchessault, Alex Petrovic and Mark Syk. Pysyk. I mean, I guess that's how you say his last name. Those are the 2 players that they protected, and they just gave the Vegas Golden Knights Jonathan Marchessault and Riley Smith in the same deal. Here, take Riley Smith, but you got to take Jonathan Marchessault. He only scored 30 goals for us this year. You got to take him. You got to take him. But other teams, the Winnipeg Jets, traded a first-round pick. The Islanders, Nick, who the hell were the Islanders trying to protect there, where they would have traded a first-round pick in 17, a second-rounder in 19. They give up Grabovski and Bischoff just so the Vegas Golden Knights can take JF Berube. Who did they protect? Who were they so scared that they were going to lose? Was it Bailey?
No, I think it was one of the defensemen. They had a problem with a lot of guys just being available, and they weren't. I think the problem was they were a couple of guys they didn't want to have to protect, essentially. So the idea was that they just trade guys, and they got rid of their contract, right? So they got rid of Grabowski's contract, which was a pretty good, big piece of the reason why they were able to, give so much up for that, right? They took him off. I think it was only like a year or two left on that deal for Grabowski. He wasn't playing. He had the concussion injuries. He didn't play at all for Vegas. And they ended up taking Berube, who was like our third goaltender, who we had, if you guys remember that the year prior, basically we had 3 goalies on the roster like the whole year, which was really not great. Not smart as it plays, but whatever reason they protected him for so long, and then eventually he was the guy that they've taken. I think we probably would have lost one of Pellick or Mayfield, I think, was probably the problem. The forwards were never really a big issue because Bailey's deal was, I think at that point, I don't remember if he had signed his new deal yet or not, but I'm pretty sure it was like a young player would have lost, and they were pretty much wanted to be like, hey, this is a guy we want to make sure you take, and they got rid of a big contract, obviously, as part of it. But if I remember correctly, it wasn't a high round pick though. At first, I'd have to look back at the
20, blah, blah, blah. I think it does say it in here somewhere. No, I had the expansion draft up anyway. It was 15. It was a decent pick. Middle of the pack. It's not like he gave up anybody anyway. It was Eric Brandstrom that the Golden Knights selected anyway with that pick. But a lot of other players, that they got from that draft pick either are still playing or are big parts of this team right now as the Knights. No, it's the Avalanche scored. Why the NBC Sports credited Vegas with a goal, and it's actually Colorado who scored.
Yeah,
Brandon
definitely
Saad
Colorado scored.
good job, NBC.
Or they're
they're
just
only a few
mailing
days
it in
away.
at this point. We
Yeah,
lost
they
the
only got a couple
contract. Who
more games.
cares?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Oh, that's a tough one. They had
Why is he
look,
trying to play that with his glove? It's on the other shoulder.
yeah. Well, I guess he couldn't get his blocker up or his shoulder, and to get his shoulder up there. Wow, that was the last second goal too. That's a crusher. Oh man. Or big parts like Marc-Andre Fleury.
I was
But
gonna say,
other players when, look, they drafted I was gonna say Kurt Suzuki, Nick Suzuki, and they traded him in the Pacioretty deal to Montreal. But I mean, can you imagine Suzuki's speed on that team? But I think Pacioretty adds an element that they were missing anyway. But still, you could do no wrong with that. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Like this offseason is not going to be interesting, right? But you haven't put the expansion draft on top of that, and to see the deals that are going to be made with Seattle. I mean, Seattle's picking number 2 overall. And
3.
two.
no, it's 2. They were the only team. to
Oh,
move.
right. They were the only team to move up. Sorry.
It's going to be very interesting to see teams say, "Hey, I'll give you a first round pick and all this other stuff if you don't take this player or you take Jeff Skinner." Going to be very, very interesting to see what Seattle does. Who are you most afraid of losing, Nick?
good question. I think any of the defense for our main guys, I don't think we will. They'll probably protect all 4 major D-men. Pollock and Mayfield are the major 3 guys that I think they'd have to expose. I don't think Dobson gets exposed based on his ELC, but I have to take a look again.
No, ELCs are not eligible.
The problem is you got something like Nick Leddy is probably a good guy they could take, and I think they'll expose him if I don't think he has no moving contract at this point. I think he's available to be taken. Otherwise, you have to look at forwards that, could they take a guy like Cizikas? I mean, they could, but those are guys like the problem with a lot of those kind of hypotheticals, like those guys are older. Like, why are you taking a guy that's like 30, 31 on a fourth line center? Like the draft is about guys that have potential. So you're going to go for somebody that's young, and that's what Vegas did. They hit on a guy like William Karlsson, Marchessault. These guys were not like, they probably just needed space to grow or another place to go do well. So, Isles don't have like a lot of goalie prospects they need. They have two guys, right? Varlamov and Sorokin. So there's not like, that's not a problem. A lot of the forwards are older guys. So I don't know how they're going to, they'll lose somebody obviously, but I think it's going to end up being like a guy that.
Who do you want to lose? You want to lose Leddy or you want to lose Bailey? Which one do you want to lose?
I would rather lose. I mean, losing a forward is fine. I don't think, but I don't know. It's kind of like they're both really good in some ways. I think Leddy, I'd rather lose because we have more defensive depth. We have more guys that can step up, I think, in the next 2 years compared to the forwards.
30 years old, making 5.5. That's not bad way.
Pretty good.
Not a bad way to start your team.
It's not. I mean, he's more attractive anyway than because you have to answer questions from the opposite side. You can't say, Nick, who do you want to lose? Obviously, I want the guy that's older and is less valuable. But that's not going to be the case. They're looking at from do we want to kick a guy like? Would he be interested in staying with us, Nick Leddy? Would he be a guy that's going to stay and be a primetime player? So I don't know. They might even take a guy that's like younger if we expose if we had to expose somebody on a entry level deal, maybe even like a Michael Cole. Maybe they go, hey, he's a better option for us because we don't like anybody else in their roster, and they take a guy like him.
Yeah, but he's RFA. I think you have to expose players who are under contract. Do RFAs still? Are they good to go on that expansion list?
I don't remember.
I think only if they were goalies, if I remember reading correctly.
So if you were an RFA and you were a goalie,
then you could be exposed and it would count.
So I'll put it this way: Barzal and Pajot, Beauvillier, they're the only guys on the forwards that are under 30 on the Isles that they'd have to really protect. Wallstrom is on an ELC. Kiefer Bellows is an ELC this year, RFA. If he's an RFA and maybe they could take him, I guess. I don't really know. What would you say, Steve? The RFA is protected, or do you have to? Can they be taken?
Still have Thomas Hickey?
Yes, we have him for another year.
Yeah,
at this. Yep. But yeah, so it's that's the real problems is just those guys, and I don't think it's going to matter. I think they're going to have taken a young
to waive his no trade clause, don't you?
Komarov's not going anywhere. I mean, look, they could take a guy like Cizikas, I guess. I mean, he's a UFA at the end of the year.
No, he's
so
UFA.
They
Doesn't
can't make sense. Clutterbuck, you're gonna take Clutterbuck at 33? I don't think so. I mean, Bailey doesn't have a trade clause on him. He's got $5 million for a few years. He's 31. Unless you want him to be the captain. I mean,
neither does Barzal. I mean, but they're gonna obviously
protect him, right? So you have to protect the guys that the NTCs, and then you protect how many guys is it in the? There's two options. There's one with 12 players, 11 players.
It's 7 forwards, 3D, and a goalie, or 8 skaters and a goalie can be protected. So either you can protect 11 or you can protect 9.
And you have to protect the no move clauses, right?
Yes, they're absolutely first have to be protected.
Okay, so Palmieri and Zajac, they're UFAs into this year.
Right.
They don't have to be protected, right? They're UFAs.
Correct.
So we only have Leo Komarov, who we may ask to waive his, Pajot, Eberle, and Nelson, and that's pretty much it.
Well, you have Anders Lee too. Anders Lee's got a no trade clause, as well as
And
Anthony
Anders, you're
and
right.
Ladd.
Now that's interesting about Ladd. I mean, I guess he's on the. We might get screwed in, but they'll probably ask him to waive his as well.
Dude,
No one's
he's
taking
30
Ladd's.
He's 35. Nobody's taking him.
No.
There's
No.
nobody's taking him.
So again, they could lose. Maybe in Eberle, not Eberle. Maybe Bailey. Maybe Bailey if they really want to. But like I said, they're going to protect the guys that are the most important. I don't think there's anybody that's like super
Yeah, but
attractive.
just losing Bailey or Letty, I mean that frees your cap space to maneuver in the offseason. I mean it's not
No.
much, but it's going to at least give you some money back to maneuver.
But those are the guys that are most likely. Like, those are the best players if you're going to look at them from that perspective.
Yes.
I mean,
Maybe-
sure, maybe do it.
Maybe you re-sign a shit talking Travis Zajac,
Zajac might come back cheap. If he-
talking
he
some
might.
shit about the Devils, man.
Yeah, it was pretty
Really?
interesting. What'd you think?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that, Steve?
Talking about how the culture out on the island is so much better and how he felt so out of place in New Jersey because he was the old guy. And if you weren't a young guy, you weren't really received
You're an-
well with the with the young guys.
You're an afterthought, right?
Well, maybe if you didn't skate like you had fucking cement boots, you would have been accepted.
Wow. This is a guy I hope to trade Travis. Travis has been such an inspiration to all the things he does off the ice. I mean, that's all I heard from you.
But they
And
did
now-
trade him. But they did trade him. So he's persona non grata. Fuck him.
That's not how your GM feels. Your GM wants the Islanders to win the cup because he loves the Islanders.
Little
Saints.
Zajac's just a Lou lackey. That's what he is.
Wow. You lackey.
That's interesting.
Good Lord. All right, Steve, who do you not want to lose?
As shocking as it sounds, Miles Wood, who's like he's a fringe protected or not.
You
He's the
fucking
guy
hate
I don't want to.
guy unbelievably, and now you want to protect him.
After the way he played this season,
I
he
say
could
let
be.
him go to fucking Seattle. Good
Nah.
riddance, you fucker.
Nah. You do because he
Yes.
fucking kills your team.
Good riddance, you fucker. Get
That's
out of
part of the
here.
reason why I want to keep him.
Bill, who are you afraid of losing?
He's gonna laugh at me for one of them, but
Malkin.
I'm thinking along the lines of guys that the Penguins might be tempted to expose because their contracts are a little bit larger and they might roll the dice and go maybe they won't take them for these contracts, and those guys are Brandon Tanev and Mike Matheson.
Norris
And-
candidate Mike Matheson.
Why?
And so-
Why would you think that that Tanev would be? Why I don't
What-
understand. I don't. Why do you think he would be even available? First off, he's got a no movement clause, so you got to protect him. You got to ask him to waive.
So the only reason I said that though, and I didn't realize they have a no movement clause on this contract because I didn't really prepare for this segment. But it was widely regarded as a move where they overpaid for him when they signed him. I like him. I don't know that a third, fourth line player is worth the scratch that they've got on his contract. I don't know if the new GMs think that he's worth what he's making. I mean, love the guy, but again, I forget exactly what they're paying him, but he's making more than like a
3.5
depth player.
3.5. He's got 4 years left.
So that's why I wonder if he's got no movement, then he's got no movement. But that's why I thought, I wonder if they would expose him, just thinking that maybe they could keep him based on somebody going, why would we pay as much as this contract for this guy?
It's a modified no trade clause, so he has to submit a list of 10 teams. So,
and Matheson's making a lot of money too, and he's not a top line defenseman, so
you
that
want to
could be
get
a
rid of
guy who could
Brandon
be.
Tanev. I think the Rangers would be knocking on your door.
You're not listening to me. Wasn't this a question of who do you not want to lose?
Well,
Who do you not want to lose? Tanev.
Yeah.
Well, the Rangers will trade for him.
But if you're gonna expose him, I mean, why the fuck would you do that in the first place?
I don't know. I'm just making conversation. These are guys that
Haven't we established you're not supposed to do that?
I should have also added Radim Zahorna. I mean, good lord, if they lose him,
That guy's from the Czech Republic, right?
I don't think I'm going to be a Penguins fan anymore. Well, yes, and he played in Brno, which is where the Neil Morse band
Oh, wow,
shot
I never would have known that.
one of their concerts. Yeah, and by the way, they've announced when their next album is going to come out, August 27th. Circle it on your calendars.
And Tom, who are the Rangers afraid of losing?
Brett Howden.
Don't care.
Brett Howden.
Really?
Somebody that, oh yeah, absolutely. I say that because I want him gone.
I don't think it works like that.
Reverse psychology.
I don't think it works.
Please
August
explode.
26th?
August 27th. Don't you fucking listen? Jesus.
Putting that in my planner.
Yeah, please do.
Wow.
Put that in my planner.
Hey, look,
I'll share my waterfall app login with everybody listening on our podcast when it comes out, so they can all listen.
I don't want to lose Anthony D'Angelo. That's who I don't want to lose.
What is going to happen with him this offseason?
He's going to get bought out, and I mean, and the cap hit on that for the next 2 years is like, it's really pennies on the dollar. It's I think it's $1 million or a little bit above $1 million.
And that'll bring the buyout list for the Rangers up to 16.
No, absolutely not. We lose.
No, it'll be 5.
No, hold on. We're losing. Well, it gets reduced. The number gets reduced greatly.
The number of players on the buyout list?
No, the total money on the buyout list.
I understand. I was talking about the number of players on the buyout list.
Well, the Spooner goes off and fucking D'Angelo goes on. It's cost to do business.
Schooner tuna. That's the tuna with a heart.
Schooner tuner. Well, we were talking about that off air, and we were talking about some players being bought out. And we were, we've given Buffalo a lot of shit about Jeff Skinner. And when we looked in cap friendly and put Jeff Skinner into the buyout, it wasn't all that bad. I mean, look, Steve thinks it's really, really bad, but it's not all that bad for a Buffalo Sabres team. There's 1 year because of a signing bonus, he'll have a $9 million cap hit. And that's in 22-23. But the other years are kind of manageable at 1.5 or $2.5 million. Sure, they're going to pay him like Bobby Bonilla.
And then there was another year with
2033.
almost 7, no? 6.5.
Well, yeah, I did say that. In 25-26, they're going to pay him 4.5. And in 26-27, they're going to pay him 6.5.
So in 26-27, you're going to pay a player that's 5 years off your roster $6.5 million. He's going to eat up $6.5 million of your cap.
You know how much cap savings that is from his $9 million cap hit in the next couple of years?
Let me do the math real quick. In that year, it's $2.5 million savings.
But in the next couple of years where it actually fucking matters?
Doesn't matter. They're not going to be competitive anytime soon. Who gives a shit?
$7.5 million against the cap.
They're not going to be competitive anytime soon. You're going to be paying this guy. You're going to be paying this guy $6.5 million on a year.
Fucking Owen Nolan. It could be the greatest thing since sliced bread. You don't know that.
Owen Power. First of all, you fucking idiot. And second of all, that's what I'm saying. By the time he actually develops, into a player, you're going to have Skinner eating up all this $6.5 million on your cap.
How do you know he's not fucking Connor McDavid coming into the NHL next year?
Because he's not.
I agree with you. I'm just saying.
So why are you being a dick?
That's what we do. What are you talking about? Duh.
Why am I fat? I mean, what's the answer? How are you supposed to answer something like that?
Come on. Why calls go against Bruins, man? It's fucked up.
D'Angelo's cap hit actually next year would be $400,000, and year after that, $883. It's a no-brainer. It's a no.
Does he wind up on another roster?
Oof. I mean, you want to take a chance? You want to take a shot?
I wouldn't. No.
I don't think any other teams want that in their locker room.
It'd be one thing if he was playing well when they got rid of him, but he frankly was just garbage out there.
And now it's time for everybody's not favorite segment. It's Trivia with Bill.
No, I'm not doing it. You guys stepped all over me last week. I'm not doing it this week.
We left it wide open for you to go and take. We handed you the fucking ball. There's the end zone. You got Billy blocking, and you fucking blew it.
It's time for Trivia with Bill. Yeah.
I feel that makes me feel better. Okay, so I got 2 questions today because I already know the first one's just going to piss everybody off. So I'm just going to go for the first question is in what territory of Canada are doctors banned from talking about hockey while performing surgery?
All of them.
We're looking for a specific territory. I can tell you it's not a trick
Quebec?
question of and all of the above.
Alberta.
Quebec?
Saskatoon?
Saskatoon, I don't believe is a territory, but it is not Alberta and not Quebec.
Is it Ontario?
It is not Ontario. So this is just a good quiz to see if you guys can name all the provinces of Canada.
New Brunswick.
No, not New Brunswick.
Is Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia?
British Columbia.
Ding, ding,
There you
ding.
go, baby.
Nice.
Those
There
fucking
you
West
go.
Coasters
Got it,
out
British
there.
Columbia.
Goddamn.
I was run out of Canadian.
Yeah, I don't know if I knew
of.
anyone after that one. I was out.
Wow,
No, Alberta. Someone say Alberta?
I did.
You did? All right, good. Then we covered them all. What did we miss? Oh,
don't
let's
know.
go, Bill.
I don't know.
I
have to look it
didn't
up.
have the whole list of all of the
Fucking
provinces in front of
Canada.
me. It's
Let's
just-
go.
Okay. Question number 2.
Wait,
Might be-
this is two.
Doing this 2 for Tuesday.
Oh my god! What is Tuesday?
It is. Second and final. As of 2019, that's when I figured out these cards were printed, As of 2019, who holds the record for the fastest slap shot at 118 miles per hour?
Is it NHL.
That's right.
Al McInnes.
Big Z.
Can't be McInnes.
No,
Why?
sir.
It was had to be.
You had a
You
hard
have,
shot
like-
at one time.
Even was like 10.
It was a wood
Five?
stick. You can't get up to
Yeah.
118 with a wood stick. Trust me,
No.
I
I
was
know.
gonna say, dude.
Now I'm afraid
the
he had it
Woody.
too.
For the Sherwood, man. Come on. It was a-
You know what the bends that way. I mean, you can get some
Get the
really
fuck
good
outta here.
fucking whip action with a wood stick. You get really good feel with it, right, Steve?
what year did this
Tremendous.
happen?
Tremendous feel.
Tremendous feel.
It doesn't have a year, but if
Not
I could
Zdeno.
I could give a hint of the era.
Pronger?
Not Pronger. Not Big Z. Nope.
Well, what's the era?
Well, this player, I don't know exactly when he did it, but this player played all the way back in the 60s.
Oh,
Brett Hull.
him.
Bobby Hull.
Yeah, Bobby Hull, not
Not
so much
Brett-
Brett Hull.
Brett Hull
Not
didn't
the
play in
son,
the 60s.
No, we didn't play in the 60s.
I meant Bobby Hull.
not the son. Bobby
was it
Hull, yes, sir.
Bobby Hull?
Bobby Hull? See,
It's the
wood
guy.
stick, Nick. Wood. Nick,
Wood
he had
stick.
a wood stick.
No, I think Bobby Hull was the first one to use a composite.
118.
He used
probably
the Easton
corked it.
Ultralight before Easton put their brand name on it.
It was a
What, you
synergy.
should have a shotgun. 118 with a Sherwood. Get the fuck out of here. That didn't happen.
He was using a Hespler, I think, not a Sherwood.
But that was in
Okay.
kilometers per hour, right?
No, it says miles per hour, eh?
A.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey, 2 for 2, baby.
Yeah.
Now this is now
Tom's enjoying the
Tom's.
segment.
This is now Tom's favorite segment ever because he got 2
Absolutely.
right.
Best segment ever on my podcast.
Where the hell this come? That is like no way that ever happened. 118. No way.
Nick is dumbfounded right now.
There's video of it. It's on 8mm somewhere in somebody's garage or attic.
Yeah, it's like the King of Kong documentary. It's all doctored. You guys ever watched King of Kong?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about their time
the video game one.
on Donkey Kong. I used to the guy they had a whole thing with messing with the board to make their scores go up. No, you should watch it, Tom.
It's a good one. It is a good documentary.
I know what he's talking about.
Documentary.
But you're just
Fucker.
being an idiot.
Yes.
And now it's time for impressions with Nick. What's the locker room like after a loss like you had tonight? Is it a tough one to swallow?
Yeah, it's tough. We were the better team. Made more shots, 2-1. Should have had more goals than them. I don't see why we should have been judged by who had more. Who had more goals. We should have been just awarded who had more shots. We were the better team tonight. We should have won. Rushed out there to get us tonight. Because I said our best guy, our captain, most honest guy in Boston. Cheats a little on the face-offs. Come on, guys. It's beer league stuff. What's going on here? Next question.
Not trying to set you up or anything with this question, but what did you think of the officiating tonight and why was it so against your team?
Yeah, We're playing a team with great management. They won a Stanley Cup. Great guys. Well respected. But they're selling this narrative that their teams. It's nice guys in the league. We're a bunch of jerks. We're not from Carolina. I don't know what it's about. But there's a million high sticks calls. That all of ours don't get called. All of theirs get called. Marchand got clipped like 5 games ago. No call. 5 games ago, guys. Come on, just seeing it. Wagner broke his stick on one guy's face. No penalty against them. Sticks cost a lot of money, guys. It's like $400 a stick. Come on, we're not getting that money back. They play hard. I love the way they play. Just don't like the way they get called penalties. When they play hard, we don't play well. They don't get the calls we used to. Bergeron's getting thrown out of like what 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 faceoffs in a row. He's facing the franchise, sucky nominee, most honest guy in Boston. Gives money to charity, kisses babies. That's how you treat him. Because someone calls him out on his face-off technique. These officials are bad tonight. They couldn't make a call if hit him in the face. But these guys, they're good guys, the best guys. I let him kiss my sister, but they were shit tonight.
What was the problem with the PK? Did it have anything to do with the huge disparity of penalties in the game?
Yeah, PK wasn't good, but they weren't supposed to be out there. They were too distracted by not getting calls. So they missed assignments. They weren't. They didn't make the stops we usually have to make because they're on the power play, let the penalty kill.
Why is the other team so mean to you? Don't they know you guys are supposed to win?
That's what I'm talking about. This is why the NHL doesn't stand up in NBC next year. If we were on ESPN, this would be for sure a win for us. We're the most honest player in the league. St. Patrice Bergeron. He delivered 3 babies on his way to the game last night, and his team lost. Unbelievable. Yes, there's no respect by the refs or the other team's fans. If anything, we should get a bye this round.
If you had 10 more minutes in the game, would you guys have tied it up?
If we had 10 more minutes, probably would have like 5 more goals. One for every time Patrice Bergeron got thrown out of the faceoff circle in the first period. For him being too honest, amazing captain that he is, best player in the league. No matter, not in my mind, would have mercy ruled him.
This is not a question, but I think you should have asked for more time in regulation when your team was losing.
You're onto something. I'll bring up with the commissioner after I pray God my firstborn son is half as honest, half as good of a player as Patrice Perfection Bergeron. All right, boys, I'm out.
I'm going to say one that was incredible. I'm going to say Pat Burns.
No, I'm going to say Butch Cassidy.
No, you dummy. It's David Cassidy.
Wait, which one was the horse? Which one was the Partridge Family? Which one was?
Or maybe the Sundance Kid, because I get them confused sometimes.
I know. Right? Yeah, that was a fun one, guys. Not gonna lie. I was I watched that interview like 3 times. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm doing this one.
Does every impression Nick do sound like Tortorella to you guys?
Pretty much.
Just everyone sounds like Tortorella.
He's got one thing. He's got one.
I can't do it.
It's different. He's got one thing.
Somehow his Russians sound like his New Yorkers. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I need the French Canadian or like the European thing to come back.
Ooh.
I mean, that was.
I'll do the French Canadian. I'll try it again.
That was
fun.
That had me rolling for a couple of days.
By the way, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 12 or 13, 14 provinces. There's a shit ton of provinces in Canada I never knew about.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even count.
Some up north.
We only care about the ones that border us. Those are the
Yeah.
only ones that really count.
Oh, you're talking to ones like up by Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Santa Claus. It's a whole area. It's northwest.
One of them is called, I think it's the North Pole Providence, I think.
What?
No?
Canada owns the North Pole?
Yeah.
No. Santa Claus is Canadian.
It's just Northwest Territory. They don't even name it.
That's just lazy.
Well, I mean,
95% of their population lives within like 300 miles of the U.S. border. So I mean, and all that.
I thought it was I thought it was like within 14 feet of the border.
Yeah. I mean, shit, Canada's huge.
yeah, you cross the border from New York into Canada, and Montreal is still. It's still a little bit of. It's still a little bit. It's more than 14 feet. Yeah.
All right.
Not more
It's
than
right there.
300 miles.
So. Like, what's past Quebec? In Quebec, I go, is that Quebec City? What's this? Is a city called Quebec?
Nick, first off, you're not saying it properly.
Quebec.
We want to get listenership up there. You got to say Quebec.
Quebec.
Right, Bill?
That's right. And that's why I was that's why I was sharing my French name when the show began, because
Nick?
I got to throw my support to the Montreal Canadiens.
Here's a little trivia question for you, Nick. Do you know what language they speak in Quebec?
French.
Quebecanese.
That was stupid.
It's not Quebecanese. We're now
Of
dumb.
all the things I've said, you think that was the stupidest thing that you had pointed out?
We are now
Really?
dumber. because Quebecanese. Jesus.
Can I ask a legitimate question for you guys?
Certainly.
Sure.
The Devils were awarded the number 4 overall draft pick. And there is a strong chance
You're gonna take his little brother.
that they're gonna that Luke Hughes is gonna be available.
Ugh. It's
Would
another
you-
Devils.
And he has been on record as saying if Hughes is available, if Luke's available, I would love for the team to take him.
Of course.
Now-
Look, if you were on a team and Joe was about to be drafted and you had a high pick, wouldn't you say the same fucking thing?
Sure, absolutely. But do you think it would have any bearing on your opinion of the team as Jack Hughes if they didn't take him?
How many times? Yeah, it could, but he is like the 4th guy on the board. I mean, he's not like
He's definitely
Right
definitely
now.
slotted right in the spot. If one of the 2 or 3 pick take a forward, then it would come down to him or Clark, I think is his last name, whose brother is actually also in the Devils organization.
weird. Well, do they need? What would they take? Would
They need
are they going-
they need defensive help desperately.
okay,
Yeah, but they don't need
so-
an offensive defenseman, right? They need more defensive.
They
defensemen.
need a right-handed offensive defenseman,
Okay. Is he right?
and I don't think either of them are.
Okay, then
What about
he's
the
not
guy
in
ahead
there.
of him?
But it's all about talent, right? You want to get as much talent in your farm
Right.
system as humanly possible.
Yeah, you don't address like an immediate need for a right-handed defenseman by going 4th in the draft. You're not going to count on that guy to jump right into the NHL anyway.
Well, I mean, the Avalanche did it a couple years ago with Cal McCarr, but he didn't immediately improve the Avalanche back end. It was a
Right.
couple years. So I do agree.
I think Clark's right-handed, dude.
Yeah,
He looks like from the picture.
It was taken from
it's reverse. Yeah, it's a reverse negative.
He did the
It's-
front facing camera.
Okay.
Well, even way, you still go best player available over organizational need.
He shoots righty.
He shoots right.
good question.
And Jack shoots lefty.
Luke.
And the other kid ahead of him, Simon Edvinson, he also shoots lefty. The top guy, Owen Power, he's not coming off that spot unless someone trades up.
Well, they were
But-
saying that Buffalo should take the second guy, Bernier, just because they're going to lose Eichel, and to get another center in the organization would be probably a good move. But it's,
I
it's so
mean,
hard to judge
you
these
know.
kids this year, man. It's just this draft
Yeah,
is going to be the weirdest draft, I think, in the history of the NHL.
There's a lot of weird shit going on.
Yeah, there was a former coach or something like that said what a save. That said this year was weird because even though they played and they weren't in a bubble, it's like everybody was isolated and felt like they were in a bubble still.
Yeah, that makes sense, but why does it have to do anything with the draft? Oh, just because they couldn't see the players?
because they didn't. Yeah, you couldn't
Oh,
evaluate.
I see.
But
I see.
even NHLers, man, you couldn't even go out to a restaurant with your teammates to have dinner and have that bonding experience. You couldn't do it. You couldn't go into their rooms and play cards or jerk each other off or whatever they do in the hotel rooms.
I don't agree. The Devils did. Devils
Jerk
clearly
each other
did.
off. They jerked each other off. Is that how they got the COVID?
Well,
Guys, I don't appreciate talk like that about my team. I don't appreciate it one bit.
Maybe a little
I
bit.
feel like you're all smarter and better than making comments like that.
We're really not.
You should be.
We've been doing this now for 28 weeks. Actually, a little longer because we had some practice runs.
Yeah, imagine that, people. We actually practiced before we went live.
Oh shit.
Ugh.
What's interesting is that top two guys, Owen Power, Matthew Bernier's, and even another guy a little bit further down, Ken Johnson, all playing at Michigan this year.
Yeah.
That's
That's a little weird.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, and Power is a Canadian, so see him playing, and maybe I don't know his story. Maybe he came down to play because getting into the U.S.
The junior team wasn't really,
Right.
He didn't know when the season was going to get underway.
Right. Maybe that was the reason. Well, that's interesting. And Mr. Hughes is committed to Michigan himself.
Yeah.
Now, you think he'd play there if the Devils took him?
I think no matter where he gets drafted, he's going to play at least a season or two in college.
Yeah, good call.
I mean, they say he could be the best skater out of the three of them.
Out of the brothers?
Yeah. And then if they draft him, does that open up, when Quinn's a free agent, does that entice him to come across, the country and play in New Jersey?
Well, they never did manage to unite all of the Stahl brothers at one time, so I don't know. If we
Were
can keep
two
that
of
dream
them
alive.
ever on the same team though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan and Eric.
Okay.
The two best
And
ones,
then
right?
the Rangers screwed that all up, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about anybody else, but Luke Hughes is left-handed.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, we were saying that.
Okay.
And then
Clark kid.
No doubt.
Clark, where's
Clark is
Clark?
right-handed.
Clark who? Clark Kent?
Yeah.
His brother's name is Graham Clark. I don't remember. I don't know what this kid's name is.
Brant Clark.
Brant Clark. Is he a
Brant.
righty or a lefty?
There's no picture of him.
So Nick was right. He's righty.
Correct. I looked him up on Elite Prospects. He's ready.
And they have Luke Hughes is number 5. Bernier number 4 on this list. This is NHL.com. They have Owen Power, Simon Edvinson, Clark, Bernier's, and Hughes.
And where's William Eklund on that one?
8.
He was Holtz's line mate over in Sweden
Mm.
in the Swedish Elite League.
Oh, great. They have another friggin' Russian at number 15.
Oh, good.
Look at that.
That's
No,
15. That's 15th rank, though. They usually don't go according to rank. Somebody reaches down to try and find a sleeper pick.
This Mason McTavish, is this Craig McTavish's son?
It would say it.
Actually doesn't.
Like,
Then he
his
probably
son,
is.
If anything, Jesus.
6 foot 198, 17 years old. We need a face-off guy. Hope he's as good as his pops was.
Craig McTavish is probably 94 by now, right? He's got to be up there.
I mean, he's probably in his 50s.
50s. Jesus Christ. No, he was 40 when he won with the Rangers.
Was he 40?
He's at least, yeah. He was still running
This
around
guy here
without a
is
helmet
dead.
on. He was
Oh,
the oldest
speaking of
guy in the
which.
league.
Jim Fossils passed away today. God, rest in peace, my man.
Moment of silence.
I was trying to, and then you spoke.
Craig McTavish, 62 years young.
See? In his 50s. Does
Clearly
he have a
in
son
his-
named Mason? Who's 17?
let's
Shit, he would have had
see.
He would have had to conceive this kid when he was
That's why I
55?
said maybe it's his grandson.
Maybe it's his grandson. Holy shit.
Could be.
Yeah, because I don't think at 55, he and his wife were thinking about having a newborn.
Who taught you math? What do you mean 55?
Oh,
He's 62
45.
now.
I mean, 40, but even still at 45.
The Edison school system
You
hard
taught
at
me
work.
math, Bill? You taught me math, Bill.
You all right? I learned about
Well,
watching
he's
you.
62 now, so when he was 31,
He'll be
he probably had a
47.
17-year-old at 45.
And then there was all those years he was in prison.
Oh yeah, he did go to prison.
Maybe he had some conjugal visits,
Jesus.
Hey, Craig McTavish went to prison?
Yeah, before he was on the Rangers.
Where the fuck was I? What?
I don't know. Do you not know this?
No, I don't know this. He's the last guy to not wear a fucking helmet in the NHL. That's all I know
He
about
missed,
Craig
he
McTavish.
missed years of his career for going to jail for vehicular manslaughter.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And Danny Healy got off?
Spell Craig McTavish's last name.
McTavish.
Craig McTavish's last name, who was on the Rangers
Sure.
when they won the Stanley Cup.
25 years ago. Right.
You don't remember how they did, spell Messier.
Okay. He was a very prominent, he's a fucking Hall of Famer.
Craig McTavish was MAC.
Oh, sorry.
So they're
Matt
definitely not
Tavish.
related. Plus,
Sorry.
this kid is the kid was born in
Sorry.
Switzerland.
So are they related or not? What are you saying?
Right, he was in prison in fucking Sweden. Wait, who did he kill?
Killed a young woman while he was driving under the influence.
Brittany
in
Cecil.
Oh, that's too
Oh,
soon.
And Snyder.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
84, 85. After 84, 85 season.
No, Bill, that was
Damn.
David Heatley.
He was so distraught that they lost to the Islanders in the Cup Finals that he went out and kicked back some beers.
Ugh. He only missed a year. That's crazy. You're gonna kill a guy or anybody.
Yeah, but it happened
go
in Canada, and
for
he's a
you.
fucking. I'm sure he's an NHL player in Canada. You're going to get away with murder.
Yeah, but
No,
vehicular
it
This is in
manslaughter wasn't-
Massachusetts. This is in Massachusetts. This wasn't. Yeah, this is in Massachusetts. It wasn't in Canada.
So he went to prison, got out of prison, and then he was able to play in the NHL.
Yeah.
And he was still grandfathered in with the helmet rule that he didn't have to wear one.
Shit, they were a little bit lenient back then, weren't they?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Jesus Christ, fucking Tony D'Angelo punches a fucking goalie, and then he's fucking blackballed for life. Who was that old coach for the Islanders that got fucking blackballed?
Can we
Ted Nolan.
Ted Nolan, right?
can we talk about the idiot comment? Can we just go back to the Boston coach?
Sure, why not? We got nothing else to do.
He did say that the Islanders organization recently won a cup, right?
Well, I think he was talking about the coaching staff.
He was talking about the coach, right? But the way
Talking
he
about-
said it, he said the
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah, he did because he made it like this. The management was all came as one.
Yeah.
But it's not really. It was really the coach Trotz and the goalie coaches and maybe just a couple of assistants he brought in. But that's not like Lou has nothing to do with it.
Right.
The entire
Right.
all the management people are like all different people.
What an idiot. That David Cassidy.
Oh man.
Wait, what's his
Well,
fucking...
they should
What is-
make another.
What is his what's his real first name?
It doesn't fucking matter what.
Paul?
Isn't it
Chris
Rick Cat- no,
Cassidy.
Peter?
I don't think it's Chris.
David?
No, David Cassidy was.
David Cassidy's the singer.
Was it a Partridge Family?
Barry?
Yeah.
Barry Cassidy?
No.
Nope.
The other Barry
Butch.
Spots.
No,
Butch.
just type in Cassidy Bruins. And I think it'll come up.
I would-
Nah, never.
What are you using? Bing? What are you searching with that you can't find it quick enough? Jesus.
America Online.
It's
Bruce.
It's Bruce. I
God.
just
He looks like
typed
such a
in Bruce
weirdo.
coach, and poof, there it was.
Warning, what you're about to hear may be the dumbest thing you'll hear all week.
He honestly looks a lot like Ted Nolan before when Ted was like coaching the team and coaching the Buffalo team, actually. That's what he kind of looks like. That kind of be crazy. I don't
No, I think you're crazy.
Okay.
know. Yeah, you're crazy. But Bruce Cassidy.
But 25K, man, that's a lot of money to be fined.
He's not paying it. It's the fucking owner to pay it. I mean, if they didn't, that would suck.
Patrice Bergeron started a GoFundMe to pay it off.
Oh, fucking Patrice Bergeron.
After he delivered the 5 kids on the way to the game. I like that one. That was a good one.
Thank you. That guy was a wiener. My favorite part about that whole thing, he goes on a rant. Patrice Bergeron, honest player. 3, 4, 5, face-offs he's thrown out. The first, like, what the fuck is he talking about? They just looked at Patrice Bergeron. They're like, "Nah, you can't go right now.
You can't now. You gotta.
No,
You're out.
no."
You're out of here. But we'll see if it. I'll tell you what. We're going to see tomorrow night if that $25,000 pays off. We'll see how many faceoffs he gets kicked out of.
How many
It's
penalties did he
penalties.
get? Yeah.
If he gets kicked out of 2 faceoffs, it's well worth $25,000.
I mean, we'll see. I think it's the funniest thing because like Trotz is like living rent free in
Oh
Cassidy's head right now, and just being like, talks about the face-offs and like, what do we win? I mean, if you look at the thing, I guess I had it up earlier. Where is it? I fucking lost it. Is it here? No, I don't know. The face-off
Google
disparity wasn't
Islanders
much.
faceoff wins.
You bing it
Green sharing.
faster.
Here we go.
Did I bing it? No, I didn't bing
Okay,
it.
so this is my take on it. We're playing a team that has, very respected
Pause,
management
pause,
coaching
pause,
staff. They won the
pause,
Stanley Cup.
Pause. Pause. I'm just now seeing this gentleman for the first time. He looks absolutely nothing like Ted Nolan ever looked.
You don't think the pinstripe suit kind of has a?
Ted
No?
Nolan was Native American. This guy is as white as you can get.
Listen, I was looking at the picture on Google, and it came up on. Looks like it.
You know, very respected management, coaching staff. They won a Stanley Cup. So, but I think they sell a narrative over there that it's more like the New York Saints, you know, not the New York Islanders. That, you know, they play hard and they play the right way.
You got it. Right after, you have to pause and put the Saints go marching in when he's saying that.
But I feel we're the same way. And the calls, the exact calls that are getting called on us, do not get called on them. So, and I don't know why. These are very good officials. They're at this point in the season for a reason. You've got continuous high sticks every game, the exact same high sticks. You know, Berge and Nelson behind the net. The one that comes up on Smith. Marshy got called for that in game 1. I could go on and on. Wagner the other day in front of the net. You know, maybe we need to sell them more flop, but that's not us. You just hope they'd see them. I mean, the same calls go against us. So it's not like I'm sitting there going, well, every call against us sucks. It's not true. It's just the end of the day, the similar plays, they need to be penalized on those plays. But like I said, I think they've done a great job selling that narrative that, you know, they're clean. They play hard, hard brand of hockey. Love the way they play, but they commit as many fractions as we do. Trust me. So it's just a matter of calling them. So, you know, that's the part that I guess gets frustrating, but you play through it. You know, it's like
so
the Bergeron today.
frustrating.
He's thrown out the first 2, 3, 4 faceoffs he takes because someone mentioned, you know, have a little respect for Patrice Bergeron. He's up for the Selke. He's been a warrior in this league, a face of the franchise, does everything right for hockey, sells the game, and that's the way you treat him. I mean, come on. You know,
I didn't see him in no Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Like he, you know, all of a sudden.
The puck is in the corner. I cannot reach it.
So
He
they just
said
need to be better than that.
penalized.
Just, you know, just call the game what you see.
This
Quit
guy
listening
might
to
as
these
well wear a
outside
fucking bow
influences
tie
and-
next
and-
game.
and get it done right. Because I don't
I
think
will
they were
fucking
great tonight.
punch
I'm
you
not going to
through
lie
the
to you,
screen.
but they have been, and they're good officials. I know those two guys. They're good guys, good officials. And I don't know tonight. I just thought they were off, but he could say the same about us. But at the end of the day, that's what I thought, Jimmy. And let's just play hockey and call the infractions that happen, and we'll see where it goes.
Well said, Ted Nolan.
Does the NHL just have a guy watching these interviews with an adding machine for figuring out what the fine's going to be?
He's got that green billed cap.
Fucking Ted Nolan.
Colorado is owning the Golden Knights tonight.
Yeah, it seems like it's a mirror image of Game 4, or a not a mirror image, reverse.
I got what you were going for.
I appreciate you, man.
Score.
You really disabled screen sharing? You really disabled screen sharing?
Why? Did I?
Yes.
Oh, I can
You
enable
wanna
it.
share something?
Is that McKinnon?
Do you,
Oh.
buddy? You want to share something, buddy?
It's
Ew.
Donskoy.
It's going to be something Devils.
No.
No, good. Then he should be able to share.
Where the fuck do I do it?
Just Google Ted Nolan and pull up a picture so we can make fun of Nick some more. Just Google Ted Nolan and pull up the first picture that comes up.
Here, you can share now.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let me
All
know
right.
when you see it.
This is
Okay.
Ted Nolan right here.
Google
Did you
Butch
know that this
Cassidy.
is what he
Bruce
looked like?
Cassidy. Now Google Bruce Cassidy.
All right.
Dude, I have to agree with Steve. They look nothing like each other.
No, not really.
Fuck you guys.
I said, was there going to be something Devils, and there was clearly something.
Oh, that
Devils
was
right
that
there.
was leftover something.
Something I was drawing.
It wasn't the picture I saw, but
This
I don't know,
one
It was.
from his hockey card from 1984.
He was 16.
If you make his hair a little darker and lengthen it a little bit and make his eyes like a little
Change his
more
eyes
beady
and-
and
Yeah,
like
but you
turn
gotta,
his skin tone a little bit, and
jowls a little
whiten
bit.
his face somewhat.
Completely change his
kinda say-
nationality.
Let him live on a reservation for a couple of years.
Nick, Nick, I mean,
I
Buddy,
tried to back the kid.
I feel
yeah.
for you, but
You gotta go to Bing, dude. The Bing.
Dave, you have to tweet out a picture of Ted Nolan tomorrow.
It's gonna go Ted Nolan and
Call the
Butch
marketing
Cassidy side by side pictures.
Call the marketing department. Make sure that gets out there.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna email you
Just don't email me anything.
Maybe if Cassidy got like kind of bloated on like that fire water. I don't know.
Don't email me anything. Is that what you said?
Don't email me anything.
I'm just gonna email
It's
you.
just gonna be your justification for your reason that you think they look alike, and you could not be more wrong about anything than this.
I could definitely be wrong. I'm sure I could.
You could say the Islanders are going to protect Michael Pekka in the upcoming draft, and that wouldn't be more wrong than you are right now.
Di Pietro.
Jesus Christ, they almost ran him off the fucking road in Long Island. What are you talking? Careful when you talk about Michael Pekka around Nick.
Yeah, seriously, man.
That's only if you listen after the music.
Only if you listen.
Only
after
if
the
you
music.
listen after the music, which Nick obviously doesn't.
Nick absolutely did not. He would be a lot more upset at us if he did.
I'll never upset you guys.
Okay.
And definitely don't listen after the music.
Say
from
that
last
now.
week.
Don't listen after the music of last week's show. Then
Wow.
we would like to stay.
I'm
friends.
glad that never happens to me. Geez, I would hate to be in the barrel of something like that. Oof.
I know.
Oof.
Two people that'll never happen to, you and Tom.
I think I don't know. Don't say that about.
Say that about Bill.
We might have to do it, next time he cancels on us or delays us, maybe we'll just start on time and do it from the beginning.
I kind of like the
That's-
whole
that's a
Billy
good-
on. I like the fucking Bill on fucking
Bill on location.
on location, especially at the middle school. Woo. Maybe top 5 funniest things we've done yet.
Oh, Bill on location, no doubt.
Bill on location at the middle school. I laughed so hard at that.
All right.
All right.
I sent you the email.
Okay, thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. Can't wait to check it out and delete it right away.
All right. Always leave them wanting more is what I say. So that's going to do it for us this week.
Oh my God, we've still been broadcasting. We didn't do the outro yet. Who would still be
Like
listening
us on
to
the Twitter. When you're on the shitter, check the Twitter at friends_rivals. We will be posting. Well, depends. Marketing. Facebook, YouTube, Friends and Rivals podcast. When you're on the YouTube, click comment, share. When you're looking for your podcast on Apple, Spotify, give us a review. I don't think you can give us a review, write a review on Spotify or anything other than Apple that I've seen. But go on there, rate us. Give us a review. We'll read it on the air. It will help our show out a lot. Billy, you gotta say something witty.
Can I get a taste of your ice cream?
Jesus Christ, play us out.
Oh, my friends and rivals. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off.
Nick knows we still do this, right?
I don't know, maybe it's bedtime.
At 9 o'clock, who would go
For
to
him,
bed
not-
at 9 o'clock?
For him, not
Maybe
the kid.
he's watching his teapot and it's just not boiling.
Oh.
Get it?